When I talk to patients about sexual health after 50, I always start with this. Change is natural. Your body isn't broken or losing value, it's adapting. Hormonal shifts happen to everyone. In women, estrogen levels gradually decline. In men, testosterone production slows down. These changes influence libido, energy, mood, and even blood circulation. The process is slow. So many people don't notice it until intimacy feels different, and they start blaming themselves, their partner, or their age. The first thing to understand is that sexual health is not just about physical performance. It's about emotional connection, desire, enjoyment of touch, the ability to relax and trust with your partner. Too often after 50, people reduce intimacy to a works or doesn't work mindset. As a doctor, I can tell you that's a narrow view. Sexuality is a complete part of your health, a reflection of how your body, mind, and emotions are working together. Your overall health plays a much bigger role in sexual wellness than most realize. Heart disease, diabetes, excess weight, chronic stress. These conditions don't just affect your physical function, they also impact your desire and confidence. Poor blood flow can make erections weaker in men and reduce sensitivity in women. Constant fatigue and stress lower sexual desire for both. Many of my patients are surprised when I tell them that the best intimacy booster often starts with their daily health habits, not a prescription. So my first piece of advice is simple but powerful. Work on your general health first. Eat balanced, nutrient-rich meals, stay physically active, avoid smoking, and limit alcohol. Just 20-30 minutes of walking a day can improve blood circulation to the sexual organs, increase energy, and help balance hormones. You cannot separate sexual health from overall health. They are two parts of the same system. And finally, stop being afraid to talk about your needs. After 50, couples often avoid discussing intimacy, thinking it will be uncomfortable or embarrassing. This silence can create distance and misunderstandings. I've seen couples completely revive their connection just by having open, honest conversations about what feels good and what doesn't. Communication isn't just a bonus in sexual health. It's the foundation. Good sexual health after 50 starts long before you're in the bedroom. In fact, many of the challenges people face with intimacy at this age have little to do with the moment itself and everything to do with how they live the other 23 hours of the day. If you spend most of your time sitting, eating processed foods, and running on stress hormones, your body will struggle to shift into a state of relaxation and connection when you need it most. Sexual arousal is a complex combination of blood flow, nerve function, and hormonal balance. And all of these are deeply influenced by your daily lifestyle choices. The truth is, if your heart is working harder just to get you up the stairs, it will also struggle to deliver strong, steady blood flow when intimacy begins. One of the biggest things I see as a doctor is that people underestimate the role of circulation. You can't have a healthy sexual response without healthy blood flow. For men, this is obvious. Poor circulation often shows up as weaker or shorter-lasting erections. But for women, it's just as important. Blood flow to the pelvic region improves natural lubrication, sensation, and even the ability to reach orgasm. That's why I recommend regular, moderate-intensity exercise, walking, cycling, swimming, or even simple bodyweight movements at home. 15 to 30 minutes a day can make an enormous difference over time, and it works far better than any quick fix pill when it comes to lasting improvement. Nutrition plays a surprisingly direct role as well. After 50, your body needs more high-quality protein for muscle maintenance, healthy fats for hormone production, and antioxidants to fight inflammation that can damage blood vessels. Diets that are too restrictive Overly processed or loaded with sugar can directly impact sexual health by reducing testosterone in men, lowering estrogen balance in women, and damaging the lining of your arteries. I tell my patients to think of every meal as either helping or hurting their intimate life. Foods like fatty fish, leafy greens, berries, nuts, and olive oil can all help keep circulation strong and hormones balanced. Stress, of course, is another silent enemy of intimacy. High levels of cortisol, your body's stress hormone, can shut down sexual desire completely. This isn't just psychological, it's biological. When your body senses stress, it prioritizes survival over reproduction. That means blood gets directed away from your sexual organs, hormone production slows, and arousal becomes harder to achieve. This is why stress management is just as important as any physical intervention. Breathing exercises, mindfulness, gentle yoga, or even a simple habit of unplugging from screens for 30 minutes in the evening can help reset your nervous system and prepare you for deeper connection. And here's something many people forget. Emotional intimacy and physical intimacy are not separate. They feed each other. The couples I see who maintain a vibrant sex life after 50 are rarely those with the perfect bodies or perfect health. They are the ones who make time for each other, speak openly, laugh together, and touch outside of the bedroom. Small acts of affection during the day, a hand on the shoulder, a hug, sitting close while watching TV, keep the brain and body connected to your partner. The human brain is wired to respond to touch and closeness, and when those moments are consistent, the body becomes more responsive when intimacy happens. And remember, these changes don't need to happen overnight. I've watched patients transform their sexual health with small, steady adjustments, walking more, improving their diet, talking openly, managing stress better. The key is to think of sexual health not as something separate from your daily habits, but as a natural outcome of taking care of your entire body and mind. When you do that, desire often returns on its own and stays. Another major factor that often goes overlooked in sexual health after 50 is hormonal balance. For women, the years around menopause can bring hot flashes, night sweats, vaginal dryness, and changes in mood, all of which can affect desire and comfort. For men, the gradual decline in testosterone can reduce energy, make it harder to maintain muscle mass, and sometimes lower the frequency or strength of erections. These changes are not just normal aging, they're signals from your body that it's adjusting. And sometimes it needs help to do so smoothly. This help doesn't always mean medication or hormone replacement therapy, though those can be valuable for some people. Often it starts with lifestyle adjustments that support your endocrine system naturally. One of the simplest yet most powerful changes is to keep your blood sugar stable. Many people over 50 unknowingly deal with insulin resistance, which causes spikes and crashes in energy, mood swings, and even hormonal disruption. Those crashes can lead to irritability, fatigue, and a noticeable drop in desire. A diet built around whole foods, balanced protein, healthy fats, and slow-digesting carbs can keep your blood sugar steady, which in turn helps your body maintain better hormone regulation. Something as small as starting your day with protein rather than sugar can make a difference you feel not just in your energy, but in your mood and intimate connection. Another overlooked factor is medication. As a doctor, I've seen countless cases where someone's sexual health problems were actually side effects of prescriptions they'd been taking for years. Certain blood pressure drugs, antidepressants, and even over-the-counter antihistamines can reduce desire, make arousal more difficult, or affect performance. That doesn't mean you should stop your medication. Never do that without consulting your doctor. but it does mean you should have an open conversation with your healthcare provider about any changes you've noticed. Sometimes a simple adjustment in dosage, timing, or switching to a different medication can make a dramatic difference in sexual health. It's also essential to address the role of self-image. After 50, many people begin to feel less confident about their bodies. Weight changes, skin texture, muscle tone, or hair loss can impact how attractive you feel. And intimacy is as much about how you see yourself as how your partner sees you. When you don't feel confident, you're less likely to initiate, less likely to relax, and more likely to focus on flaws rather than pleasure. This is where self-care goes beyond vanity. Regular exercise, grooming, wearing clothes that make you feel good, and even practicing positive self-talk can reignite the confidence that fuels desire. For women experiencing discomfort during intimacy, lubrication, and tissue health become important topics. Declining estrogen can cause the vaginal walls to become thinner and less elastic, leading to dryness or even pain. This is not something you have to just accept. There are many safe, effective lubricants and moisturizers designed for long-term vaginal health, as well as medical options like low-dose estrogen creams. Even simple practices like staying hydrated and including omega-3 fats in your diet can improve tissue health over time. The key is to address discomfort early, so it doesn't create a cycle of avoidance and reduced intimacy. For men, maintaining erectile health after 50 is about more than just blood flow. It's about the health of the entire vascular system. If you're having trouble achieving or sustaining erections, that can actually be an early sign of cardiovascular disease. I always tell my male patients, your sexual health is a window into your heart health. If something changes, don't ignore it or just try to push through. Addressing it can protect not only your intimacy, but your life. Finally, we can't overlook the emotional component. Long-term relationships often go through phases where intimacy takes a back seat to work, family, or other stresses. After 50, when life may slow down in some ways, it's an opportunity to bring that connection back to the forefront. This may mean planning intentional time together, creating moments of affection throughout the day, or even exploring new forms of intimacy that go beyond what you've done before. The healthiest couples I know treat intimacy not as a given, but as a living part of their relationship, something that needs attention, curiosity, and care. When you combine all of these, hormonal awareness, stable blood sugar, smart medication management, improved self-image, and open communication, you create an environment where intimacy thrives naturally. It's not about chasing what you had at 25. It's about building something deeply satisfying and sustainable for where you are now. And when you approach it with this mindset, the results can surprise you, not only in your body, but in your entire sense of connection to life. Improving sexual health after 50 is not about quick fixes, it's about building a foundation. One of the most effective ways to do that is through targeted physical activity. General exercise like walking or swimming is great for overall health, but there are also specific movements that improve blood flow, pelvic muscle strength, and endurance in ways that directly support intimacy. For both men and women, pelvic floor exercises, often called Kegels, can strengthen the muscles that control arousal and orgasm. These exercises are simple, can be done anywhere, and only require a few minutes a day. The difference they make in sensation, control, and confidence is often remarkable. Flexibility and mobility also play a bigger role than people expect. As we age, stiffness in the hips, lower back, and legs can limit comfort and reduce the range of movement during intimacy. Gentle stretching, yoga, or Pilates can help keep these areas strong and supple, making intimate experiences more comfortable and enjoyable. I've had patients in their 60s tell me they were surprised how much easier intimacy became after just a few weeks of adding light stretching to their daily routine. Mobility keeps you physically capable, but it also boosts circulation and helps prevent injury. Mental health and emotional well-being are equally crucial. Sexual desire begins in the brain, not the body. If your mind is weighed down by stress, unresolved conflict, or fatigue, it will be much harder to connect with your partner. Practicing mindfulness, deep breathing, or even short daily meditations can help train your nervous system to shift out of fight or flight mode and into a state of openness and receptivity. This isn't about forcing yourself to think sexy. It's about creating the mental space where intimacy can happen naturally. Connection outside of intimacy is just as important as what happens during it. I tell my patients to think of touch as a daily vitamin, something you take not because you're sick, but because it keeps you healthy. Small, affectionate gestures like holding hands, a gentle touch on the back, or sitting close while talking signal safety and closeness to the brain. This steady input makes the transition to intimacy much more natural and reduces performance pressure. Couples who keep physical contact alive throughout the day often find that their sexual connection stays strong without forcing it. Your environment also matters more than you think. Lighting, temperature, privacy. These may seem like minor details, but they send powerful signals to your body about whether it's safe to relax. I encourage couples to create intentional spaces for intimacy. It doesn't have to be elaborate, just free from distractions. This might mean turning off phones, dimming the lights, and making sure you won't be interrupted. That sense of privacy allows your body to let go of stress, which is essential for arousal and pleasure. Finally, remember that sexual health is dynamic. It changes with your body, your relationship, and your lifestyle. What worked 20 years ago may not be what works today, and that's not a problem. It's an invitation to explore. Try new routines, focus on different kinds of touch, and remain curious about your partner. The couples who thrive after 50 are not those who try to recreate the past, but those who are willing to write a new chapter together. And when you see sexual health as part of your overall wellness, you stop chasing perfection and start building connection, which is the true measure of intimacy at any age. What you eat plays a far greater role in your sexual health than most people imagine. Every cell in your body, including those involved in sexual function, relies on the nutrients you provide. Poor diet choices, processed foods, excessive sugar, unhealthy fats, slowly damage blood vessels, disrupt hormone production, and lead to weight gain that directly impacts confidence and desire. The good news is that the reverse is also true. A nutrient-rich, balanced diet can help restore hormonal balance, improve circulation, and give you more sustained energy for intimacy. The effect isn't always immediate, but over weeks and months, the changes can be profound. Protein is one of the first areas I focus on with patients. Adequate protein supports muscle mass, which is essential for overall vitality and testosterone production in men. In women, protein also plays a role in stabilizing blood sugar and supporting the repair of body tissues, which can help with vaginal health. I recommend high-quality sources: eggs, fish, lean poultry, Greek yogurt, nuts, and legumes. Try to include a source of protein at every meal, not just dinner. This steady intake keeps your energy levels stable and helps avoid the crashes that kill desire. Healthy fats are another cornerstone. Many people still fear fats because of outdated diet advice, but fats are essential for producing sex hormones like estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone. Avocados, olive oil, fatty fish like salmon, nuts, and seeds should be regular parts of your diet. Omega-3 fatty acids, in particular, have been shown to improve blood flow, reduce inflammation, and even support brain health, all of which benefit sexual wellness. If you don't get enough from food, a high-quality omega-3 supplement can be a smart addition. Micronutrients matter too. Zinc is critical for testosterone production in men and sexual function in both sexes. Magnesium helps relax blood vessels and improves sleep quality, which in turn supports libido. Vitamin D is another key nutrient. Low levels are linked to lower sexual desire and function, and unfortunately, many adults over 50 are deficient. A simple blood test can tell you where you stand, and supplementation can make a noticeable difference in energy and mood. Hydration is often overlooked, but it's fundamental. Dehydration reduces blood volume, making it harder for your body to maintain strong circulation. It also contributes to vaginal dryness in women and reduced stamina in men. Aim for consistent hydration throughout the day, rather than drinking a large amount at once. Herbal teas, water-rich fruits, and simply keeping a bottle nearby can help make it a habit. For those considering supplements, I always recommend starting with a conversation with your doctor. Some herbal remedies, like ginseng, maca root, or L-arginine, have shown promise in supporting sexual function, but they can interact with medications or medical conditions. Supplements should be a complement to a healthy lifestyle, not a replacement for it. The biggest mistake I see is people reaching for pills before they've addressed diet, activity, and stress, the core pillars of sexual health. And here's an important perspective. Nutrition for sexual health is not a temporary program you follow for a few weeks. It's an ongoing commitment to fueling your body in a way that supports vitality in every area of life. The same foods that protect your heart, brain, and joints are the ones that keep your sexual health strong. When you start to see your meals as an investment in intimacy, as well as longevity, every choice at the table becomes a step toward a more fulfilling connection with your partner. One of the most important truths I share with my patients is this: sexual health is not just about the body, it's about the relationship you have with yourself and with your partner. You can improve your hormones, circulation, and diet, and those things matter deeply, but intimacy will always thrive in an environment of trust, safety, and emotional connection. After 50, many people rediscover that what truly makes intimacy fulfilling isn't perfection or performance, but presence. Being there, fully, for yourself and for your partner changes everything. This stage of life can be a turning point in the best possible way. For decades, intimacy may have been rushed, overshadowed by career stress, raising children, or financial concerns. Now, you have the opportunity to slow down, to focus on quality instead of quantity. You can take the time to explore each other again, to talk openly about what you enjoy, to experiment with new ways of being close. Many couples tell me that their intimacy in their 50s, 60s, and beyond is more satisfying than it ever was before, not because their bodies are the same, but because their connection is deeper. It's also important to remember that intimacy doesn't have to follow one script. It can be playful, tender, passionate, or simply comforting. There is no right way. There is only what works for you and your partner. The couples who thrive in this stage are those who stay curious about each other. They keep learning not just about their bodies, but about their partner's desires, boundaries, and dreams. That curiosity keeps the relationship alive, not just physically, but emotionally. If you're single, this applies just as much. Taking care of your sexual health is not only about a current partner, it's about your confidence, your sense of vitality, and your ability to connect in the future. It's about feeling alive in your own skin, enjoying touch, and maintaining a healthy relationship with your own body. When you nurture that connection, you bring a stronger, more vibrant version of yourself into any relationship you choose. Here's what I want you to take away from everything we've discussed. Sexual health after 50 is not a downhill slope. It is a chapter you get to write, and you have more control over it than you may think. Every walk you take, every healthy meal you eat, every open conversation you have, every stress you learn to release. All of these are investments in not just your health, but your joy. And the sooner you start making those investments, the more you will get back. So make the choice today. Take one small action, go for a short walk, add a serving of leafy greens to dinner, put your phone away and spend 10 minutes talking or holding hands with your partner. These may seem like small steps, but they are the building blocks of a strong, satisfying, and enduring intimate life. And if you've found value in this message, stay connected, because your journey to better health, better intimacy, and better living is only just beginning.